Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of WedNESday. So this time we're taking a look at the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons game, Dragon's Lance, Heroes of the Lance. Now, you would expect from the name that, being Dungeons & Dragons, that it's an RPG. Not so much in this case. This game is a platformer action game. Now, Heroes of the Lance was released on numerous different computers and consoles, but we are of course looking at the 1991 NES edition. Now, it was developed by Natsume and it would be published by Pony Canyon. So let's hit start. And we have a choice. We can load a game or start a game. We're going to start a game. So we get the very beginning of the game. And we get a countdown of all the heroes, not just of the game, but of the Dragonlance story. So there's Golden Moon, and she's the cleric who finds what was the name of that staff? Yeah, she finds this magic staff that sort of brings back clerical magic, which kind of sets off a big deal in the game's story. There's Sturm, Riverwind, Tanis Half-Elven, another very important character in the Dragonlance stories. Oh, good old Tasselhoff. Flint and Cameron, and everyone's favorite upset mage, Rasslin. Rasslin is another very important character in the Dragonlance world. Alright, prepare to enter Zach Saroth. So this game is based on the book. The first Dragonlance book, what was that? Wasn't it Dragons of Spring? Was that Autumn Twilight? Was probably the last one. So, yeah, it looks a little weird right now. We got our little sprite running back and forth with their little staff. And on the bottom of the screen, we have the layout of our heroes. So think of it like this. The top layer is our front row heroes. The bottom layer is our back row heroes. The front row heroes can interact and do things with the game world. The bottom row heroes are kind of like in reserve, waiting for their chance. So we can move left and right by pressing left and right. We can even jump when we get running and then when we tap A. You may notice that compass in the bottom left corner. When that compass lights up, that means we can move either north or south, west or east. But what we are going to do is hit start, or rather select, and look at our menu. So it can be a little intimidating seeing all these options here. But the first thing we want to do is hero select and change this layout. We don't want Gold Moon up in the front. We're going to switch her with Cameron. And we could probably just leave it like this. But I'm going to switch out Sturm with Riverwind. Now we're going to go to use. See, Cameron here is carrying a spear. So if he's our selected hero, he can throw his spear. Riverwind is using his arrows. So we'll equip his arrows. Rasslin has his staff. I forget the name of his staff. That's another really important artifact in the Dragonlance stories. And Gold Moon is using her staff. So we could set Flint to use his hand axe, which I think will let him throw his hand axe. Sturm has got his longsword. Tasselhoff has his sling pouch, so he can shoot sling bullets at people. And there's Tanis, who also has a quiver. Now that's the setup we got here. In fact, if you look at the instruction manual for Heroes of the Lance, one of the last things they tell you is, this isn't an ideal setup for your characters. Why don't you try setting them up like this and selecting these items for them to use? So that's kind of what we did here. Now, there will be times during the game where we're going to want to use magic or the cleric staff. So we just go through here and we pick the one we want. But the magic will only work if one of those characters is in the front row. And we've only got so many uses of it. I think Rasslin over here, has 100 charges, and each spell uses a different amount. I'm pretty sure Final Strike uses up all of it, and also kills him. So let's not use that. And then we have our clerical stuff, which is going to be really important for healing ourselves. Because we are going to get hurt a lot. We can even bring the dead back to life. Alright, so now our sprite has changed because our lead character has changed. Here's another thing the manual tells you. It says at the very beginning of the game, go down into the south room and practice moving. And there's our first enemy. We can practice fighting with him. Oh, and some rocks just fell. Alright, now Cameron is our lead character, so if we hold down the B button, he will pull out his spear and throw it. So he just did some damage to that enemy. Now it's time to fight the enemy. We gotta get close enough that we can strike them with our sword. We can also strike high and low. And we want to pick up by going over here to take. Spear. And now he has his spear back. But we also gotta set it to use again. You will spend a lot of time in that menu. Now, like a lot of good NES games, it's really not that long once you know what you're doing. But I gotta tell you, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I've once made it to the second area, and that was just completely by accident. So, pick back up your spear. Set you to use the spear. And while we're at it, let's just show how cleric magic works. So we're going to go with Cure Critical Wounds. Actually, no, let's go with Cure Light Wounds. He hasn't taken that much damage. And you may notice that even though Riverwind is not our lead character, he's taken some damage too. That's because he's in the front row. And looky. Oh, that almost dropped on us. There are lots of traps that are going to fall from the ceiling to hurt us. And I think if Tanis... Tasselhoff. If Tasselhoff is our lead character, he can disarm the traps and stop them from hurting us. Now, we got something else on the floor. So we gotta pick who is going to take the item off the floor. In this case, it's a scroll, so Raslin is going to do it. Or Racelin. And he can use that scroll if we want. Raslin must be the party leader to use this spell, but we're not going to have him be the leader. Alright, so that passageway leads to the east. I just got to hold down until I can move. Oh, we got hurt bad fighting this guy. You can see even Gold Moon took some damage from that encounter. So this time we will use Cure Critical Wounds, and that got him almost back up to full. So if I wanted to go back the way I came, I would just stand here and hold the up direction on my directional pad. I kind of like the music though. It's fun action music, and it's also kind of mysterious. Man, we are getting ruined by this guy. Now, I don't know if there's a random element to our attacks, but it sure feels like it. We could use some of this magic to help us out. Maybe make us a little more effective in combat. We could try using prayer. Prayer's a good one. So let's wait until we get another fight, but in the meantime, Cure Light Wounds on you. Okay, we can go north up here, and look, now that's a little enemy, and he just keeps kicking us in the shins. Now I'm holding diagonally down to strike at him. I've always assumed that those were dwarfs. I don't know that for a fact, though. And there is a mean enemy. I always thought that was a gargoyle, but I believe it's a Drakon. Not sure which one, though. Remember, some Dracons like cast magic, and that one's doing magic, so that's probably a good sign. Oh, there goes our first character. Alright. Wrestling, will you please use some magic? Try Magic Missile. There we go. He fired his Magic Missile. Get up there and stab that dragon. Down he goes. He's still got one last shot in. Alright, let's try to raise our buddy from the dead. I can only imagine raising him from the dead uses up a lot of our charge. Yep. Didn't get much health back either. One thing you're going to probably learn over the course of playing this game is which enemies are worth fighting and which are not. To the best of my knowledge, none of these things recharge. Once that staff runs out of magic, it is done. Alright, Riverwind, we're going to switch you around. And let's put Raceland at the back. Oh, is that your spear? You dropped your spear, didn't you? Alright, we're in combat now. Okay, so this big passageway will lead us west. Let's see. Oh, right in one of you dwarves. That we will find items on the ground during the course of the game, and some of them are useful. Some of them are not. I'd probably say most of them are not. Like when Wrestling over there finds scrolls, he can use them. When we find stuff like gems and weapons, they're not so helpful. Alright, let's get some magic back up here. So let's try web. Well, it completely missed the dwarf. But it got the dracone. Good. You just sit there and get stabbed. And unlike other D&D games, there's no XP or anything like that. So there's no real reason to fight enemies if we can avoid it. Problem though is avoiding it is tough. Okay, let's try south. And there's another Dracon. One of the more combat-oriented ones. In the stories, I think... Yep, that one turned to stone. In the stories, when you kill a Dracon, something happens. Usually something detrimental. It's like the ones that turn to stone, usually turn to stone with your weapon either inside of them, or them holding on to it. So now there's just a big statue of a dragon person who's holding on to your weapon. Or in the case of the magical ones, they explode into a burst of magic. Which has kind of happened to us a couple of times. Oh, that was good. Just dropped a big rock on us. Here you. So this guy does explode. And will do some magic damage to us, which we should heal real quick. And now he's gone. Maybe he fell off the pit. Alright, so I guess we came from the south, so let's keep going south. Alright, maybe not. Let's go north. of that just took us around a big circle. So here's something else that I think is worth mentioning. Cameron here is using a sword. Most of the time in the story, he was killing things with his bare hands. They make a big deal about how strong he is. In fact, if we look at him, his strength is maxed. Riverwind's strength is maxed too. But in the story, a lot of times he doesn't have a weapon. They're usually fighting with the Drakons, so he will like catch these Drakons like with his bare hands and just crush their necks. They really play up just how crazy strong he is. Which is to compare him to Rasslin, because they're brothers. Rasslin is not strong, he's not healthy. In fact, I think if we look at his stats, everything's kind of low. Actually, you take a look at it, his con is high. But in the actuality of the story, his con was low. I don't know what's going on here, but you see he's only got 8 hit points, so we want to be careful about that. Another one of you. Raceland, will you catch him in a web? Thank you. And yep, exploded in magic. Let's take whatever that is. And what do we have here? I'm guessing it's a quiver of arrows. Let's see, Tanis, you can take them. No, they're coins. Alright, take the coins. At the end of the game, assuming we get to the end, we're not getting to the end of the game. At the end of the game, you'll get a score, an experience point score, and that's going to reflect, I think, enemies killed and treasure found. Like, believe it or not, these are a bunch of swords here on the wall. And they will add to your XP at the end of the game. Jeez, this thing is ruining our day. So that's 2 heroes that, well, one hero that died twice. Okay, let's bring him back to life. But you know what? You can hang out in the back for the time being. That wasn't very much healing at all. But we will pick up your spear. Okay, so we came from that way. Yeah, there was nothing over there. Let's go back this way. No, we're not fighting with the 2 of you. Wonderful. Okay, we were definitely over here. Let's go back west. We'll try going north now. Yeah, they look pretty similar. Yeah, it's not really the most exciting gameplay. Not really visually exciting. It's a little tedious to run around and play, so you can see kind of why the game doesn't have the best reputation. But it's not like it's buggy or broken. It's a little tedious to control because you gotta get used to the way it plays. But overall, I gotta say, this is not a game I keep coming back to. Now, believe it or not, this game had a sequel. It was a Japan-only sequel. I think it was called Dragons of the Flame. Now, it's not really one of those games I'm going to take the time to hunt down to play, but maybe for the purposes of, you know, our WedNESday project here, I'll take a look at it at some point in the future. But in the meantime, I think we've gotten as much as we're going to get out of this game. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.